It's no longer news that mobile phone and internet users in Ghana are now getting less for the data and airtime they purchase due to an increase in the communication service tax from 6 to 9%. Now, prior to the deductions from October this year, most telcos notify their clients through text messages about the tax deductions. But it appears the decision by the service providers to charge a tax upfront has not gone down well with government. The Ministry of Communications is now seeking a review in the way the deductions are done, and some consumers have been speaking about this new development. There is more in this report.
Government through the Ministry of Communication has issued a directive to the National Communications Authority (NCA) to ensure that telecommunication companies in Ghana stop the instant deduction of the communication service tax (CST), also known as talk tax, from consumers. The talk tax, instituted in 2008, was recently increased from 6 to 9% by the Akufo-Addo administration to support cybersecurity initiatives and to protect digital infrastructure used by both the public and private sector. Following an increment in the communication service tax from 6 to 9%, telcos have implemented it by transferring it to consumers. Unlike in previous years, there's an instant deduction when consumers purchase airtime or data. For instance, a recharge of 10 Ghana cedis worth of talk time gives consumers 9.2 Ghana cedis as a result of the tax. The chairman of Parliament's Finance Committee, Dr. Mark Esibe-Yeboah, had earlier rebuked the telecommunication companies over their mode of implementation, suggesting that they were doing it deliberately to make government unpopular.
Since 2008, the beauty of the tax imposition is that every month the telcos pay to government the taxes collected, which runs into millions. Where were they getting the money? So they were charging you the 6%, except that when you recharged and you got a text message, it wasn't stated explicitly that 66% of your recharge has been deducted. Now, for some strange reason, they are stating it explicitly that 9% of your recharge is deducted. That's the only difference. But previously, when you bought 10 cedis, the effective credit you got was 9 cedis, 40 pesos. Now, if you recharge 10 cedis, you are getting 9 cedis, 10 pesos. So for me, if I sit back, I just think somebody wants to make government unpopular.
But a member of Parliament's Communication Committee and Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram, Sam George, says government's new directive on the tax will constitute extortion if carried through. He says the CST is a consumer tax and could not be treated as a corporate tax.
It's a big cartel that thinks that, look, we have power and we can do whatever we want to do. You cannot complain. Even when we are cutting your nose, you cannot speak. But basically, what you are seeing here is that the minister, who is a member of parliament, is oblivious of the fact, by this letter she's written, that the CST is a consumer tax, and that she as minister does not have the power to vary an act of parliament, because the CST is backed by an act of parliament, as backed by legislation. Legislation that made it a consumer tax, not a corporate tax. What she's demanding NCA to do through the MNOs is to convert a consumer tax into a corporate tax. It is not done by law. What she's doing right now is basically intimidation. This is extortion on a national scale.
Meanwhile, consumers are already unhappy with the way the deductions are being made by the telcos.
Currently, communication has been very critical in one's life. Being a student, trying to struggle with all other taxes, and you added this communication tax to it. To me, it's unfair to me, because I do pay a lot of taxes that I think can do a lot of things. So I don't see anything reasonable in the government charging me to pay from communication.
They can use other ways to take out their taxes, but withdrawing the credits whilst we load it, it won't help us. We the students especially, it wouldn't help us, because we normally do our research on net, and normally for me, I normally do foreign calls, because when I load my credit and by the time I realize 10 cedis, it reduces, and it wouldn't, I have to buy extra credit to add to before I can do my bundle, which is not helping me at all.
That's Vodafone. When you buy the credit go fast. But the bundle, you pay the bundle for one week. it's finished. 2 days, 3 days, you don't have bundle again. But I don't understand.
In line with the CST, the Ministry of Communications has also directed telcos to roll over all unused data and voice bundles purchased by customers. This will mean unused data and credit will not expire. The ministry assured that mobile network operators will be subjected to strict compliance with existing quality of service standard to ensure value for the subscribers' money in accordance with their license obligations. The Communications Minister, Eslawusu Ekufo, says this is part of measures to minimize the negative impact of the deduction of the CST. Currently, only Airtel Tigo offers data bundles that do not expire.